We sometimes don't understand or comprehend on how great God is. And the main thing that we forget, because we get bogged down with our own problems, we don't really understand what it cost him to go to the cross. And people have said to me in the past that I want to know how you feel after knowing you passed away. And people don't know how I feel. They really don't know how I feel. They may have lost a loved one, but depending on that relationship that they had with the loved one is depending on the agony of the loss. Now, the relationship that God had with his Father, Jesus had with his Father, what it cost God to let him go to the cross. We haven't got that kind of relationship. We will never, ever, ever know or comprehend what it cost God. We won't. You can think you know, you can think you with the pain that you go through in life, and you think, I've got a glimpse of what you have not got an inkling of what it cost God to send his son to the cross. And you will never, ever, ever comprehend. So don't let the devil fool you into thinking that you know. And don't ever say to somebody, I know how you feel. You don't know how you feel. They feel. You don't know what their relationship was with that person. How deep it was. You have a loss. But you don't know until you have the same kind of relationship as that person had with the person they've lost. So don't even go to the place where the devil can say, oh, now you know what it cost God. You'll never know. You will never, ever know. I'm just going to read you something that I got this week, and this shocked me to the core and made me realise how many millions of miles away I am from understanding God's love. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 21. He made him who knew no sin to be sin on our behalf, so that we might become righteousness of God in him. Do you understand the concept of Christ bearing the sin of the world? I can only imagine a fraction of what it means. Mark Moseley captured a small drop of the ocean of truth encompassing this profound act of infinite sacrifice. This is his humbling reminder of just how far Christ went on our behalf. Jesus bore the sins of the Assyrians, who gloated over the captives they had skinned alive. The sins of the SS troops, who machine gunned women and children running from burning synagogues with clothing ablaze. Jesus bore the sins of child molesters, making sure that victims never have to testify the sins of the pharaohs, sacrificing the thousands of labourers' lives to build themselves defying tombs. Jesus was tossed about in these endless storms, enraged fathers beating toddlers to death, pimps seducing runaways into lives of drug addicts and prostitutes, church ladies cannibalising other church ladies over coffee, the Canaanites throwing their children to the Molech, their sun god, impoverished parents in China selling their children into slavery. Jesus bore the sins of the embezzlers, gangsters, bullies, rapists, liars, the indifferent, the sadistic, the self-righteous, the Bible-believing leaders praying long and loud while their wives sat on back pews praying their heavy makeup would cover their bruises. It is a scene of unbearable horror and unspeakable madness. He is accused for us all, bearing the weight of the abused children, families destroyed by adultery or apathy, civilizations, decaying wars, ravaging victims. Yet through it all, deep in the terror of hell, he keeps his eyes wide open. He's not just a bystander caught in the accident. He has come deliberately. He will assist all the absorbing, the full force of the storm of wrath, his body, his mind, his heart, his soul, until there is nothing left to feel. Finally, the tumbling with slow beat, the storm will slacken, and Jesus will lift himself on this nail feet, snatch grasp of air, and force a swollen tongue to shout, "It is finished." I've come, I've seen, I've paid for it all. I would add to the last line, and I've borne all this for them. The mercy that God expanded upon mankind at the cross was immeasurable. Christ died for the worst of sinners and loved the most hateful of enemies. What a powerful reminder of God's enormous love. Christ bore our sins and our punishment so we could bear his righteousness.